Hey Aquarius, welcome to Divine Duality Tarot. My name is TJ. It is July and I have a love reading for you. What I'm going to try to do here is get a good idea of what's going on between you and your romantic interest. That way you got a little bit of warning as to what's going on so you can make some choices that will hopefully benefit your relationship. So what I do here is I draw three to represent your part of this relationship, your energy going into it, more or less your side of the story. Then I do another three to represent your interest, whoever that person may be, romantic interest, romantic partner, somebody that, whoever it is in your life that you're really curious about your love interaction. Then I draw three for their energy, their side of the story, underlying energy that they have. And then I draw another three to represent why. This is the mutual energy of the relationship, the mutual, more or less, what is causing this in the first place, the underlying issue. A lot of pentacles, Okay. So, Aquarius, I'm going to start with you here. Leading off, you have Three of Wands, which is planning for the future. It's planning for expansion and growth. It's having the willpower to make things better. This is a drastically dumbed down example, but as an example. You know you need more money. You go get a job to make more money. That is expansion and growth. But it takes effort, it takes energy to go out and get that job. That's willpower. So that's having the will to expand and grow. Taking steps to make your relationship better. It can be as simple as you guys have been fighting over who mows the lawn. And you say, you know what? I'm just gonna go mow the lawn. I'll just go do it. You, using your willpower, have helped to forward the relationship, even as small as that is. That is your Three of Wands. Then you have Three of Swords, which is heartache, which is you have two truths, you and your partner, and then you have a third one going right down the middle. Sometimes this can have the possibility of, a third person. But from what I'm looking at here, I don't think there's another person, but it's heartache because of temperance. Temperance is balance. It is understanding. It's giving and getting. You have a plan for the future. You have a desire to move forward. You're even putting in the effort for it, but you're not getting that in return. And that's hurting your emotional state in the relationship. Sound about right? More or less, you're trying, but you're not getting anything in return. I looked over here beforehand. A lot of times I don't look at the other, but something that always sticks out is that Emperor. The Emperor can be beneficial. This is one of those messages that is either really great or really bad. I think maybe I've had it twice be something in the middle. The Emperor is bold moves. Bold moves. power, authority. When you're in need of somebody to take action, you want this. When you need the power to make a change, you want this. But this comes at a cost. And that cost is the emperor works alone. There is only one emperor. This is control. Sometimes that's needed. If you're at a restaurant and somebody's getting confrontational. I know this is like a really, really out there example, but as an example, if you're in a situation where you no longer know what to do, and whoever's with you puffs their chest out and gets right in the way and takes over and solves the problem, that is a good thing. But when you have things under control and that person puffs out their chest and starts getting in the middle of things, then that is not a good thing. The power and authority, when used right, will propel a relationship to heights that you could not imagine. But when used wrong, that's how we get controlling people. That's how we get abusive people. Because when one person thinks that they run everything, and that's why that plays into temperance. They're voicing their side, you're voicing yours, but you're not being heard. And from what this is looking like, this is not a common thing. Because if it was, why would you now be feeling heartache and temperance? This is something new, isn't it? They also have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new beginning in the physical world. So Pentacles in general is the physical world. The physical world could be anything from money to where you live, all the way down to your own physical being. We, flesh and blood, exist in the physical world. Then they have the Nine of Cups, which is satisfaction, emotional satisfaction. Cups are emotions. This person has a new benefit in the physical world. This is the sign of somebody who has just found success. Somebody who maybe got a raise, somebody who maybe just got a new really good job, somebody who just got a really new car. Something new in the physical world this person just got. And that made them happy, that made them content. That's also made them pig-headed about it, made them bold, made them cocky. And here you are trying to temper that. This is the kind of person that, with all this extra money, we could go out and do all sorts of fun things. And here you are saying, why don't we use that money to fix the wall? Why don't we use that money to buy something that benefits both of you, a new car for the family? Let's not waste that excess, but better use it to benefit us, to benefit the relationship, to benefit down the road. Let's just put it in savings. Well, no, it's my money. They are not seeing this as a us thing. They are seeing this as a them thing. That's the energy between the two of you, and that is causing worlds to collide. Deep down the problem, that Knight of Pentacles, which is long-term abundance, you got the Nine of Pentacles, which is self-value, and you got the Three of Cups, which is celebration of emotion. This is what this is. This person has excess. You're trying to stop them from doing that, and you're seeing them act towards you in ways that you're not used to. This is the sign of two people who struggled together and one person found a way out. And instead of holding out their hand and bringing them up as an equal, they've more so grabbed you by the wrist and are now dragging you along. I don't like that. That's not a good mentality to have. It's not a good situation to be in. But this is a new situation. So I'm going to ask a couple questions and see what we're looking at going in the long run. The reason why I ran through those 3 cards so quickly is it just reiterated the exact same thing. Self-value is being questioned. Your self-value. What part are you in the relationship? What is long-term abundance? That's what you want. You want to celebrate as a couple. You want to be able for all things to be moving forward in a positive way. But they're being selfish. They're being on their own. Who are you in the relationship? Self-value, self-value. What is your role in all of this? Now, my question. What happens to Aquarius if they just let it ride? Let them be them. Let them just be them. Instead of being dragged by the wrist, you stand up. They still got you by the wrist, but you just walk and talk however they want. They have assumed full control. More or less, this question is asking, will things calm down in the future? How will things go in the future? Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Oh, Aquarius, we have a problem on our hands. 5 of Cups. Grief. Disappointment. They're going to make choices that are not beneficial. They're going to waste, and you're going to see that, and you're going to find disappointment. More or less, what you're feeling now is only going to get worse, because now you're no longer voicing it. You're almost a willing accomplice, okay? And this is the extreme if you don't do nothing. You have become part of the problem, and you know it, and you're going to beat yourself up for it. But then, here's the but then. You got the Hanged Man, which is seeing things from a new point of view. Seeing things from a different angle. You were here, and you started to kind of look at things, maybe this is how it should be. This is you starting to convince yourself that this is the right thing to do. Which then leads you to the Hierophant, which is conformity, which is falling in line. So, not only did you start out knowing things were wrong, you then started tricking yourself to thinking that things are right, and now that's the status quo. You are no longer part of the relationship, you are now part of their future. You will be along for the ride. I'm not seeing them leaving you, but you're going to be leaving yourself. That sucks. But that is not what you have to do. I'm going to ask the extreme opposite. What happens if you go all in and keep chipping away? Keep being... No. What happens if you get more aggressive with how you address this problem? What happens if you turn it up to 10? If you already feel like you're at 10, what happens if you turn that up to 20? You really push to take charge, to show them what they're doing, or so if you turn it up to 20 and you push back, you got the Ten of Swords, which is the ending of a truth, the beginning of a new truth. Truth in this situation is subjective. Truth is... I really wish there was another word that I had than truth, because I hate throwing the word truth around, because you want truth to be, you know, this is a table. Well, this is a table. That is the truth. This is a table. I am talking to you. That is a truth. This is more so a belief. The end of a belief. The end of a cycle. That cycle is this problem. The problem will end. The Ten of Cups too, which is fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. Then you have the Knight of Wands, which is fast action and passion. You know what? A lot of times, I'm not the biggest fan of the full attack approach. A lot of times I'm a big fan of being direct. Okay? If there's a problem, I address the problem, because the problem is what the problem is. And people react to that problem in different ways, such as this. The problem is not necessarily success, but what to do with that success. What to do with that physical success. Do you bask in it, enjoy it in the now? Who cares about the future? Or do you take that success and do you invest it in yourself later on? This person needs that awakening. You may not be able to turn it up to 20 because you know how this person reacts to aggression. And there's a very fine line between being bold and being aggressive. There's a very fine line between teaching somebody a lesson, letting them know what they're doing, versus being vindictive, just being a dick in retribution. You, Aquarius, you need to find that balance, and you need to go on the offensive. You need to figure out where your strength is, where your weakness is, and you need to figure out what is the best way to get through to them, and be as direct and straightforward and loud and proud as you possibly can. I'm not saying to yell at them. I'm saying loud as in a very clear way. You need to make sure that you convey your side of the story as clearly as you can. Make them listen, because this is new. This is not a continuing pattern. This has erupted because of something else. This is not a core personal trait. This is a reaction to something. What they need to see is the reaction to that as well. They need to see your reaction to their reaction to this thing. And you may have to meet in the middle. It may come down to it, okay, fine. Let's say it's an extra $200. Instead of let's spend $200 on ultra fancy restaurant and no savings, why don't we put 100 back and then go to really good restaurant, not quite as good, but we'll meet in the middle. And the good thing about that is once you have your foot in that door, it's really hard to do this without being a controlling person, but it is easy to do it if you have the intent of just helping them to see that the long term is what's going to benefit you the most. You can eventually whittle that down to 150 is now in savings, and you're going to a $50 fun, exciting thing. You know what I mean? Chip away at that cockiness until they get back in their right state of mind, because then you'll be where you need to be. You'll be where you were before, only without as much struggle, because now you have that excess. So Aquarius, I hope that was very clear and concise for you. I hope that gives you some insight as to what the actual root problem is. Take a breath, remove yourself from the equation, focus on them. What can you do to get them to recognize the problem, and then attack, and then do what you have to do to make this relationship, make this situation better, to get rid of this problem without really damaging things. Getting rid of the problem shouldn't be you need to quit, because then you're going to be back to square one, and that emperor might turn into, a drunken emperor, a resentful emperor, who now is mad at you for taking away potential for the future. They may see the future after it's been taken away from them. They may be in your shoes if they lose that job. They may see heartache that they didn't get their side of the story heard. So you have, Aquarius, this is you. You have to be this. You have to find temperance and do it right, okay? So with that, I'm not gonna keep you anymore. Just use this to your advantage, make it better. I believe in you. You need to believe in you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next time.